welcome back to the Dunlop Endurance Championship here at Silverstone, where we're heading into the closing stages of the first race of the season. So let's go back to our commentator, Chris Hartley.
Well, with maximum driver times to consider, we're now getting into the stage of the race where there's likely to be a flurry of pit stops. There's the race-leading Mosler in from second place, just 12 seconds behind it, the number 12 Audi driven by Adam Wilcox. But the threat's likely to come from further behind because third and fourth have already made their pit stops and are absolutely flying. Nigel Moore in the Topwith Motorsport Audi, 5 to 6 seconds a lap quicker than anybody else. And you've got Nigel Greensall also going well in the Lamborghini. There's Chris Randall in the Class 3 leading Lotus. There's Dad Nick, who's going to take over from him, and there is the number 14 Cuda Drinks Ginetta, which has got to go into the garage to be refueled the old-fashioned way with no modern refueling technology on that car as yet. And that's a spin for number 88, the Century Motorsport Ginetta, driven by Ruben Anacasi, and hopefully they'll get him out of the gravel trap soon. There's the car which had a moment at that corner earlier on as well, the number 49 Mini, driven by Adam Busey, back out. Refueling the old-fashioned way then, the Cuda Drinks team. It'll take longer, but they're here to gain experience and to try and get a race finish. Johnny McGregor making his standard pit stop, but he's already been in once with a problem earlier on. And they're absolutely flying at the moment. The number 57 car, driven by Tom Howard, the Moss Motorsport BMW. Frank Bradley is going to get on board with that one. Also running well, and in the top 10, number 17, Chris Hart, and the Track Talk Racing Chevron GR8. Going well in Class 4 is Ashley Woodman in the SICL.com Seat. He's going to hand over to Keith Hemsworth from EDF Motorsport there. Eddie Farrow, who's helping to run the car this weekend, giving the driver a few words of advice. Now that's Nigel Greensall coming through in the Lamborghini. Nigel Moore has already been through in the Audi, and only just now out of the pits comes the HUD Motorsport Audi. So that's effectively going to lose 2 places with a longer pit stop than its rivals, who are both absolutely flying. Richard Burrows leaves the pits in the Cuda Ginetta, and we can now catch up with his teammate.
It's been a dream to do Britcar for a number of years, and finally, first race of the season, we're actually out there. So we're not the quickest car, but we're out there, we're having a lot of fun, and the key is to just have fun and enjoy it. And actually, Richard, who I'm partnering with today, this is his first ever race. He only took his ARDS course last week, but he passed with flying colours, thankfully. So we'll get to the finish with a reliable car. We'll not throw it off, hopefully. And you never know where we'll be at the end. The weather's a real leveller for us as well, so the rain is helping us, although as the big cars come by, it's like a monsoon. You cannot see a thing. It's incredible.
Aboard the Hoffmans Henley Lotus Europa, Nick Randall comes out of the pits, but that's at a relatively low stop, as has the Aston Martin, so there could be changes in the class. And in with the problem, I'm afraid, Johnny McGregor. A relay has gone on the car and caused all sorts of grief, so I think effectively that one out of the race after a great showing early on. Steve Fressel is getting ready to take over from Jacob Mathiasson, the car being refueled, the number 43 Ginetta. That has a chance of moving up the order in Class 3 if they can make a quick turnaround here, with others not doing quite so well during the transition phase. There's the WDC Ferrari. They've had a few pit stops, but they're still going. But an issue with the windscreen wipers there. Rob Young attending to it, and that is not going to help in these conditions. And in come the leaders then. So they're about to change hands. Javier Morcillo handing over to his teammate Manuel Centrano, but already through. Look to take the lead of the race. Topwith Motorsports and Nigel Moore. So his fantastic lap time since he got on the car have paid dividends here. He got his head straight down. The Mosler only now is going out, so it's going to be a long way behind the Audi, and it's not going to be that far ahead of this man, Nigel Greensall, in the Lamborghini. Rachel now, though, I understand, has got Javier Morcillo in the pits.
How is it being back here at Britcar?
Oh, really nice. We love racing England, apart from the weather. We love England, we love the atmosphere, we love Britcar, and we're very happy to be back. Britcar seems to be at its best. It's the best I've ever seen Britcar, so happier than ever.
And let's talk about the race. How are you finding it out there? The conditions are pretty extreme.
Oh, it's terrible. It's one of the most difficult conditions I've ever driven at. So yeah, really difficult. So to lead my stint was a big surprise. Such a good cars here, such good drivers. So I'm really proud of my car. I'm really proud of my team, and I'm really proud of my drive.
the ING Sport BMW Z4, now driven by Kevin Clark, ex-V8 champion. He's got that car up to 5th place overall as we go on board with Nigel Greensall, hunting down the Mosler to try and get 2nd place. It's just ahead, look, as they go down towards Vale. On board with Nigel, he's got the inside line here. You got the Porsche of Peter Cunningham just ahead as well. And has he sandwiched himself in between the pair of them? I think so. Yes, so that's up to 2nd place now for the Lamborghini. The rain really coming down though. The Cunningham car, by the way, is 2nd in its class, Class 3. These are 2 class leaders. The BMW Atkins Motorsport leading Class 4. That number 43 Ginetta leading Class 3. On board with Steve Fressel. These 2 are close together on track, but there's a lap in between them. But that rain is getting heavier and heavier. A real cloudburst now, and you can see the conditions here. Look at the number 69 Porsche, how much water is just coming off the car. And this is what it looks like on board a Lamborghini that's trying to do 200 miles an hour. Nigel Greensall can barely see where he's going, and it is just treacherous out there all of a sudden. We've got just under half an hour left of the race to go, but the red flags are coming out. The race is stopped. So it's a tremendous victory for Hansen and Moore in the Audi. Nelson and Greensall in the Lamborghini take 2nd. Pintrano and Mortheo in the Mosler take 3rd. Class 2 goes to Heward and Wilson in the Porsche. In Class 3, it's Mathiasen and Fressel that take victory. Olpas and Atkins are victorious in Class 4. And Alan James is the outright winner of Class 5.
The car was brilliant, I think you'll agree, won't you? Yeah. Really happy with the car. But yeah, filled in an absolutely amazing start, got a few places, stayed out of trouble, which quite a few of them struggled to do. And yeah, the weather, as I say, wasn't great, but I jumped in, he handed it over to me, perfect condition, car was really good. And then the way the weather was, it doesn't matter what car or how the car is handling wise or anything. In these conditions, it's how you drive really, and we showed them what we were made of.
It's a really good way to start off the season with a win. I mean, a lot of people were crashing and the weather got slightly worse, and then when we changed over, of course, that's when the torrential rain started coming down, and Nigel kind of shone through it and showed his talent and came back through.
How tough have these conditions been for you guys out there? Because it's pretty horrible.
Well, it's tough for Darren because it's the first time we've driven it in the wet. We only got the car on Tuesday, so it was a bit of an adventure, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, absolutely, yeah. So and the conditions out there are really wet, so yeah.
How are you going to go celebrate?
A cup of tea, I think.
Yeah, a cup of tea and a scone, or maybe a bit of crumpet.
We had limited time in practice this morning because we had a fault with it, so obviously we killed it for qualifying. I just finding my feet with the car really. It's a new car, as you can see, and I'm just learning it. But the first couple of laps were really tricky because you're wet, and I've never been out. It's been rear-wheel drive, turboed. It's a bit tricky, but as the race came on, I was struggling more and more, I found. So, but it was getting wetter and wetter, so. First race of the year. We come home with a class win, so I'm over the moon.
It's my first time here and first time in the car, so it's just unbelievable that we won the race, and I think the team did a very good job. And my teammate Steve also drive very well in the rain. I think we did well and drive safe, try to be stable on the track, so it's very good.
It was a very interesting race with the changing damp conditions, and I went out second. My co-pilot Lee did a very admirable job on the first one, went very well, handed it over nice and cleanly to me. The rain started increasing in its ferocity, and then really it's a question of trying to avoid the puddles. That was pretty successful on the whole, though you can't do that all the time. But it's just erring on the side of caution, because you just need one wheel to spin and then suddenly it'll flick and you're off.
It started off sort of very wet, then it got dry patches and we would have to look after the tyres. We were planning to do the 2 hours on the same set, so we were hunting for the water, trying to get him, save the tyres for the race, but in the end it got very wet, and that was good, really pleased that the conditions were tough, and I think that it was the right decision to stop the race in the end. So yeah, it was tough, but you always enjoy it. Any time in the race car is enjoyable time anyway. We tried to do a bit of a strategy on it. We assumed it was going to get stopped. The weather was getting worse, so we thought if we kept going and didn't stop until we really had to, so the last 15 minutes, we might be able to gain on that as well. So I think we finished 15th overall or 14th overall, and that's because we didn't stop in the end.
And what do you think of the new Britcar?
very good, very impressed with it. Fair play to Claire and Rob and all the team as well. I think they've done a really good job. Hospitality's nice, good trophies, and it's a different atmosphere. It's very nice, very relaxed, and everyone's very friendly.
It's early days in the championship, but Tockwith Motorsports, Porsche Shop and Synchro all share the lead with 26 points apiece. Century Motorsport and Atkins Motorsport just one behind on 25.
Well, that draws an end to the first round here for the Dunlop Endurance Championship. We had to finish the race half an hour before the end due to weather conditions, but we did see for round 1 all the thrills and spills fully expected from the championship. Make sure you join us next time. We'll be racing from Snetterton. We'll see you then.